1940 has been a decisive year for the future of the Third French Republic. After years of political instability caused by the Great Depression and the recent collapse of the Front Populaire, France now finds herself in the middle of World War II against a revanchist Germany whose sole objective is to dismantle France. With an ineffective military technology and incompetent high commands, French hopes of ending the war quickly were shattered after the reenactment of the Schlieffen Plan, where Germany blitzed through the Benelux, quickly capitulating the Low Countries, leaving France weak against future German offensives. The Maginot Line, built to protect Alsace-Lorraine against Germany, has proven useless as German forces stormed through the Ardennes, quickly encircling Dunkirk, in which Allied forces narrowly escaped, and capturing the French capital, Paris. With unstoppable advances in French land, the remains of the government quickly fled to the colonies, creating a division in French society, as two distinct French governments pursued the fight for legitimacy. Vichy France, led by the Marshal Philippe Pétain, quickly turned into a collaborationist regime forced to comply by Germany's demands and into a fascist totalitarian regime. Free France, on the other hand, was led by General Charles de Gaulle, a charismatic figure who called to the French people to resist against the occupation. The French resistance had a great importance in the continuation of the conflict, because they sabotaged, they neutralized, and they developed guerrilla warfare against Axis forces, which led to the complete shattering of Vichy France's legitimacy, which quickly lost its grip in the colonies. The proven ineffectiveness of the Vichy regime turned into the annexation of France into Germany in 1944, leading to harsher resistance, contributing to the liberation of France later that same year. But what if the French resistance failed? What if Vichy France managed to hold on to their territories and get enough legitimacy to be the true France? What if, in simpler words, France joined the Axis? To get a somewhat realistic scenario, we should probably dive into the cause that prevented Vichy France from getting legitimacy. Firstly, we have General de Gaulle's charismatic speech. The only plausible way to prevent that speech will be to make him die during the Battle of France, where he participated in numerous counterattacks in the French mainland, in which we can make him being captured by quicker German forces. By averting his calls, we can make the resistance way less organized and patriotic, with the remains being easily neutered by Vichy's intelligence services. This will prove important as the colonies will be more stable. The only France now can also negotiate with Germany to end the northern occupation in exchange of valuable resources for the continuation of the war and for the Axis war effort in Africa. However, the Allies would not see positively this authoritarian collaborationist regime across the English Channel, holding on half of Africa for the Axis to openly exploit. As a preventive measure, Operation Catapult will be delayed until 1942 to destroy all the French ships in the Mediterranean, securing French interests and blowing all hopes of an execution of Operation Sea Lion. The full destruction of French naval forces will escalate the tensions, which were already hostile, and could lead to a full French commitment into the Axis war effort. French participation within the Axis won't ultimately assure an Axis victory, because the overwhelming American industrial and military capacities will still manage to make the Allies win, but at greater humanitarian cost. In the peace deal, France will be considered as an enemy and a friendly regime will be installed, which will be very pro-American, with Britain gaining independence as a measure to prevent any strong France in the future. In compensation of their territorial losses, France will be granted the Saarland in order to kickstart the economy and block any extremist ideologies to rise up in France. Germany will suffer the same peace deal as real life, except there will not be any French occupation zone. This new Europe will completely change the future of the Cold War, with independentist movements in Africa coming sooner because of the important death tolls and communism having an overall stronger position in Africa.